But I'm not scared of being the competition any more than you were when you lined up across from a superior team. Yeah, on paper, they're a better team.
Right.
They have all the assets and resources and we don't. But let us get on the line, boy, and see if that factors in. I guarantee you it won't.
Wow.
Keep it going. Some privilege and a blowing. Hold it down for the Bay, reppin' Oakland.
It's all a fugazi.
And you know the difference between me reading your papers now and me reading your papers 10 years ago is that now I know when I read it. 10 years ago, I didn't know when I read it.
It's no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not fucking real.
Right. All right.
It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies.
Carrying a school bag on stage. What are you doing with a school bag on stage? You can't even read.
No, you ain't the champ. Hey, this is fucking embarrassing. How you gonna do this? Embarrassing. How you gonna do the champ? You go fight more than 4,000 people live. One more people in training.
40 years old carrying a school bag. The man doesn't even fucking read.
And Dad tried to teach me of my brothers. Never try to be better than someone else. Always learn from others. And never cease trying to be the best you could be. That's under your control. I coined my own definition of success, which is peace of mind, attained only through self-satisfaction and knowing you made the effort to do the best of which you're capable.
What do you both think about fear?
I'm not in this world to live up to your expectations. I'm here to live up to mine.
He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life.
Fear is a teacher.
And I don't skip class.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
Hey now, say now. Hey now, say now. Hey now, say now.
Hey now. Hey now to you. Yeah. Hey now. Hey now.
Hey now.
Did I just nail the grail?
You just hit the grail.
Did I just nail the grail? Hey now, say now. Hey now, say now.
Hey now. All right, we'll start that way. Why not? Why not? Yeah, crazy news. I mean, I'm listening to others and I'm listening to the cooler talk. Nobody has a fight. Everyone's processing. Everyone was just hit with the left hook yesterday. No, you hear, Topps is going to buy, Fanatics is going to buy Panini. That was played out so much by every channel. There was another one I can't remember, but none of us were talking about, oh yeah, PSA is going to just buy Beckett tomorrow. I mean, it just wasn't. So it hit everyone upside the head. No one had a clue. Reef is here. Gorilla Farmer, the real Ron Fig. Please stand up. Civil Cards. Kenny F. and Powers. We got a lot of people here. I got a lot of call. I want to hear people's takes. We're still in the moment of processing all this, and I want to hear what other people have to say. I know how it makes me. I know how I feel initially. And I would assume most of us feel that way. Hey, happy holidays. Oh, boy. It's almost Christmas. I got 3 more days of work. My foot, the ankle, the foot, it really sprained my foot, grade 2. Today's 2 weeks. Today's 14 days. I've been able to walk on it the past 4 or 5 days. The past day or two has been better. I'm not going to, I'm still avoiding stairs as much as I can, still gingerly walking, but they have security cameras all over schools. And so, of course, the office, my admin, they went back and watched the footage. They made me go to the doctor, get an x-ray. I mean, they laughed their ass off. They said if we put it on social media, it would get millions of views. I mean, it's apparently hilarious how I hurt my foot. But thank God, 2 weeks. I hit the airport next week. And so I'm hoping that by next week, I can do airport walking. That's the hope. But today, PSA buys Beckett. Hello, where you been? Under a rock if you haven't heard the news. Fanatics has cut off some of their breakers. And I've had some information from prior that this was going to happen. This is happening. This is going to happen where Fanatics Live wants the breakers to break on Fanatics Live. At 5:20, we're going to get Orlando in here. We'll have him come 10 minutes before Petty. Orlando, a lot of wisdom, a lot to say, but he's, with guys like Ziggy and Petty, Orlando, and myself, guys, Orlando might never get a word in. So I'm smart thought to have him come on 10 minutes early. We'll get Petty on, we'll get Ziggy in. I'm hoping that Orlando and Petty are willing to stay a while. I'm also down for a shorter time, but I'm hoping they're willing to kind of to stay for Dan's Vintage Baseball at 6:15 or 9:15. And then this guy, James, I got in touch with yesterday. He grades Sports Illustrated, old Sports Illustrateds with CGC. So he said he wanted to add to the mix a little bit. We'll do voicemails. I have more. What do we have? The voicemail, by the way, 702-483-7344. What's your take on Beckett being acquired by Collectors, the same parent company as PSA, SGC? This happened to recently within the year. I like this. Let's start with this. Give me 1 second. How do I make this? Let's do that. Oh no. How am I gonna, I messed this up. Give me 2 seconds. There it is. All right. So a lot has happened in 4 years. Cards went from being mom and pop shops. Cards went from being people having their own business as a breaker or selling on eBay. And it's not that anymore. It's just not that. So in February of 2021, Nat Turner and private equity came in and they bought out PSA, or Collectors Universe. All right. And then in July of 2021, you have CGC being bought by private equity, Blackstone. Blackstone owns a large majority of CGC, and they spent almost $500 million. And I still want to know how much Beckett went for. I'm going to guess over $500 million. Yesterday I threw a number 200 million. I think that's too low. I think it's too low based off everything. In July 2021, we have Collectors Holding, who now, went private, and they're going to acquire Golden Auctions, who has ties with eBay. And then at the end of 2021, now mind you, in 2021 was the boom. Everyone's sitting at home. All these cards are getting pushed up. Was some shilling bidding done? Of course. Was some nasty deals getting done? Of course. And then, thank you to the sponsorship, Card Ladder. Love the product. I don't love what's going on with PSA right now, but they bought Card Ladder. And if we take it a step further, Collectors went ahead and bought Wada Games, one of the biggest graders of video games. Now, grading video games had a peak, and it hasn't been as hot. It's still a market. It's nothing like sports cards. If we fast forward to 2024, Collectors Holding acquires SGC. What do you know? And now they acquire Beckett. So private equity has their hands all over the sports card market right now. And it's not the same thing we once knew. And what do companies like this care about? They care about their boardrooms. They care about their investors and their the value of their company continuing to go up. They don't give a shit about you or me. They clearly don't even give a shit about the product, in my opinion. I have a lot here. We're going to start taking callers in about 10 minutes. Collectors to acquire Beckett. This is from Collectors. So here, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but this is their official statement. And this is Sports Collectors Digest. And they did this. I wanted to read some of the social media. I have not yet. I can't imagine it's good. But they have the same post here on Facebook. And, I'm done collecting. Thanks, Beckett, for effing selling out. I mean, for a lot of money, let me tell you. Get ready to be upcharged for every 10 you get. This is some WWF, WCW shit. Well, yeah. So sick of the monopolizing. So, I mean, it's not this channel. It's not just me. A large majority of the hobby feels this way. What a scam. PSA's always been better. Never liked Beckett anyways. Anti-monopoly investigation is coming, hopefully. Tag just became the top dog. Hey, what's up with Tag? Your good old boy Evan Mathis said Tag was going to be the only one left. He's a trimmer. Also an ex-NFL player. Not every comment. I haven't seen one positive comment yet. So and other people talking about tag. If you can't beat them, buy them. PSA is say my name. So, no, it's, I'm still gathering my thoughts. The one thing I do know is this is a perfect picture of how I envision it in my head, how I feel like they envision it in their head, how they talk about it in the boardroom meetings. I mean, we're all just little tiny ants or pawns in their game to make money. Absolutely. Really interesting chart one of the viewers made, or I don't know if he made it or I think he made it, but the green is the total amount graded. And this is since 2022, the first of 2022 to the end of 2025. So green, and this is by gem rate here. Green is total. And look at blue. Look how blue is so close to the total. So PSA is absolutely dominating. Now, this is just sports cards, because if you included TCG or trading card games, CGC would be far higher on this list. But orange is SGC, and look what happened to them. They're doing good business. They're number 2 the whole way. And when Beckett buys them in the past 6 months, they bought them a year ago, but in the past 6 months, look at that tank job. Look at that tank job. Beckett is this green color that stayed pretty steady over the past 3 years, but nothing big compared to the competition. And then again, CGC, none of us look to CGC for sports cards, but it is big with comics and it is big with TCG or trading card games, all these acronyms. So anyways, I thought this was a good chart. Greg Lindbergh is the guy that's owned Beckett. He bought Beckett. And now, he pled guilty to $2 billion fraud. And what I thought is interesting, if you look at the article, where is it? Yeah, right here. The indictment reveals a carefully orchestrated scheme. Like, it wasn't, by accident. It's carefully orchestrated. And this, he's the one that owned Beckett. He's not the only motherfucker up there doing this, And when do we get a new report about somebody else, about one of these guys we've been talking about a long time? Does it end with this dude, Lindbergh, or does it keep going, But for me, there's a lot more of this garbage going on that we just don't know about yet. And so let's see. Give me about 5 more minutes. We'll throw Orlando on. I thought, now there's another topic that's being overlooked. It's not, because it's such big news that PSA buys Beckett, but Fanatics wants their breakers on. They want all the breakers on Fanatics Live. They want to kill the other streaming sources that's just, Dan the Card Man hinted at this. I got other news from other people, and it's like, oh shit. And then we see this. So where is it? And then we'll throw Orlando up here. Happened to me too, and based off what I was told, no, we want here. Heartbreaking news today from Barbell Breaks. Fanatics breaker program is being massively downsized to provide more allocated product for the bigger breakers. We are unfortunately collateral damage and are being kicked out of the program. And you've probably heard this by now, maybe not, but they're being kicked out of the program. I'm sure you'll hear of other breakers in small groups soon if you haven't already. I'll have the next few tops releases, but after that, I'm SOL. Now we have Geo on. I don't think Geo likes me very much right now. I talk to others in the space, or I try to, Jags from Blaze Sports Cards. I've been in DMs with him. I'm hoping to have it. He agreed to come on. He said next week's good, I believe, but next week, I'm taking off for travel and Christmas. However, another guy I got in touch with that's ready to come on the show is SCV Sports Cards. I know a lot of the chat is waiting to hear from SCV, so we'll get him on in the next few weeks or hopefully months, but we're in conversations. And then Charm City Collectible said the same thing. It happened to me too, and based on what I was told from the horse's mouth, this happened to about 60 of us, which is crazy. Now, my question is another breaker I talk to sometimes is Run Good Life. What happens to him? He has a big channel on YouTube. He has a big follow. He has a lot of views, lot of eyeballs. Is he going to be forced now to move over to? Are we going to start seeing Run Good Life on Fanatics Live? It'll be an interesting follow. But I think what we're all seeing here is Fanatics Live. Fanatics wants you to break on Fanatics Live. Everything is in a tunnel now. I mean, there's two companies that run everything. These two companies run everything. And soon, if you want to break, which I'm not even a fan of breaking, but if you want to break, you're going to have to go through that company right there. Let's throw Orlando on. Let's see what Orlando has to say about all this. Orlando, are you good with coming on a little early? Yes, sir. All right. Mr. Orlando, he has a channel, A Collector's Dream. Check out his collection. Orlando, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Professor. Thanks for having me on. Great, especially the chat. I love the chat.
Hell, the chat's always the best. Orlando, I'm going to ask you more of a hobby. You mentioned you had a serious bout with cancer. Are you in remission, or how are you feeling? Not to put you on the spot, but I've been curious, and here you are. So, how you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling a lot better. I had stage 3 lung cancer. They had to remove a tumor and removed literally a third of my right lung. And then I went through chemo, finished about a month ago, and I'm still going through treatments, going through immunotherapy. And, just got to go to the hospital and stay there for a few hours till they put an IV and pump some more stuff in my body. So I've got
your energy level, more energy?
Much better. Yeah, it was tough with the chemo. The chemo really knocked me out for a few days, but this is immunotherapy it boosts your immune system so that your immune system will attack whatever's left of the cancer. But I'm feeling a lot better. And
keep fighting, but you've always had a great attitude about it, and I'm really happy to hear you're feeling well.
Yeah. The doctor told me, that the attitude is the most important. And I got to thank all of the community, the YouTube community that has supported me and prayed for me. And to be honest with you, that's what's gotten me out of this thing, because it was pretty depressing when I found out the news. And then I literally had over 100 people started texting me and contacting me, and it just made me feel a lot better.
Hey, what the hobby can do and you don't know. So, okay, not to pivot from serious to a joke, but I mean, I'm happy that we have a lot of people coming on. And if you want to join, you can hit the link at the top. But I want to hear people's takes. I mean, Orlando, you're in the hobby forever. You're very, you're connected into it. And so not in the industry way, but how you feeling about it? Where are you at with this?
Yeah, I've been in the hobby since I was a kid. Never really stopped collecting. And during the 80s and a little bit of the 90s, I was actually a card dealer doing shows. So that's my background. How I'm feeling? Well, you put up there's two companies, but there's really three. And we can't forget about eBay. eBay is the three-headed monster there. And now eBay's also doing eBay Live, where they're having breaks. And they're having a lot of stuff going on that. So I think between Fanatics, collectors, and eBay, that's the hobby right there, those three companies. As far as what's happening here, I mean, you've got two giants competing against each other. Collectors is a little bit bigger than Fanatics. They're worth somewhere around $36 billion, and Fanatics is worth somewhere around $30 billion. And, it's just a matter of time before these guys go public. And I think
that's the question. So do you think there's two avenues I think are very smart? Okay. I buy each one. One, they go public, IPO. Number two, this is what companies do when they want to sell something. They acquire all the assets, and right now there's this huge boom in cards. I mean, they could sell for an astronomical price. Do you think it's more likely they're looking to sell it or to go public?
Oh no, they're definitely going to go public. I mean, that's what you do before you go public. You really consume all your competitors, so that once you go public, people see, hey, there's no other option but PSA for grading and even selling cards. And there's no option, for printing and making cards other than Fanatics. I mean, and Topps and all the other brands that they own. So, I mean, you've gotten to a point right now that I think it's who's going to go public first. And I think the one that goes public first is going to get eventually be worth $1 trillion company. At that time, one or the other can buy each other out, or they can just continue going their way. And, just owning the entire market.
Man, I guess what bothers me is it's never good when there's no competition. It's good for the company. It's not good for the public. It's always better when you have options, you have choices. It also creates competition. So now you get other, now that's the reason why capitalism is supposed to work is you have everyone competing, and it ups the product level. It creates better products. It creates innovation. And here the competition is gone. And that's now, here's a thought I've had for a long time, is that eventually they're going to make it to where, these slabs, they tell us they're worthless and they have to resend them in for their new AI service. They're, and that's how they're going to continue. Do you see any credibility to that? Do you see that being a way they take? Are they eventually going to move into a more consistent way of grading?
Well, obviously that's going to eventually happen. AI is not ready for prime time yet. Tag has started that, but Tag is extremely limited as far as what they can grade. It's just mainly Pokemon. So I think Tag is pretty much out of it. They can't do AI for regular, vintage cards or anything, other than
the way
just
I
some
see
modern
AI,
stuff.
though, don't you think that I find, from at least how advanced it is with what I see on my end, that technology exists. If PSA or any grading company really wanted to move into grading with AI, that's there. I feel like that's already there.
Yeah, I think the technology is there, but there's still so much work to be done. Remember, PSA bought Gemamint, and Gemamint was supposed to have been their AI, part of the company, but they haven't been able to completely make that happen. I think it's just going to be a matter of time. And basically what Collectors has done is they eliminated their competition. I think their only viable competition was SGC, because they were gaining ground on them. And then they just bought them out and made them a boutique. And then Beckett, as far as Beckett, I think Beckett was already going down in the dumps. You could see that they were the dying brand. They were number 4. And the only reason I think they bought it out is for the name, and because it probably was cheap enough now that they felt, that they can afford it and they can buy it. Now, we don't know what the price they bought it for. We'll never know, because it's a private company. It was a private sale.
Oh, you don't think we'll find out?
No, it was a private sale, and unless somebody wants to tell us, they don't have to. And there's really no way of finding out. It's like me selling you a card, and it's between me and you. And unless you say something or I say something, we'll never find out. So I think that's something they're gonna hold back.
You think if I threw out 500 million, are you taking the over or under?
I'm taking the under.
Okay.
Because of the even though I think they got 250 million investment last year, Beckett did, I still think that they're not worth 500 million, because remember, they bought Topps for 500 million. And I think Topps that brand is worth a lot more than I think the Beckett brand is today. And that's just my opinion, of course. But
there's also speculation that they might have bought it to, I've heard this from several people, that they bought it to fight it off from Fanatics acquiring it.
Yeah, I believe that's a big part of it, because Fanatics definitely had an interest in Beckett. And, and now Fanatics is really kind of fighting over the Panini brand. Let's see what happens with that. But again, I don't even think that Fanatics needs to buy Panini, because Panini's lost almost all of their licenses. And I think that Panini's going to turn into another Leaf or Wild Card. So, they don't really need to buy it, but they may when the price gets good enough.
I have several takes on that. I think that, cards are huge right now. There's an outside investors getting excited. And you could tell them, hey, you have this infrastructure with Panini that's better than most. There's other card companies. It doesn't have to be sports. It could be TCG. So I don't think Fanatics buys it. But the other side is, I'm going to miss Optic. I'm going to miss Prism. And I really do believe, you've heard me say it a lot, Orlando, is I believe in this Topps fatigue. I believe in, hey, every year Topps comes out for baseball, basketball, football. There's nothing else. I know they create other products, but so I think there is value where at first I didn't, and I don't know how much, but it would be nice for them if they had Prism and Optic and all the rest.
Yeah, I mean, they own the Kaboom name and things like that, certain brands. So yeah, I do think that there is value for there in Panini, but it's all depending on the price. And now that Panini cannot produce any licensed products, their value is going to go down. But again, Topps, I hope they can innovate. And, you were talking about innovation earlier, and what happened in the 80s and 90s when you had, Fleer and Donruss and all these other brands that came in, they forced Topps to innovate. And that's how they came up with the refractors and all those other brands and things like that. So that's going to be a shame if Topps doesn't innovate and competition doesn't really push Topps at this point. But, we're going to have to see what happens. I agree with Michael Hamm. Panini is done. They lost a lot of their soccer licenses too.
Michael Hamm has good takes. A couple things. I saw Neo in the chat. Neo went live yesterday to break the news. He has a lot of subs. Neo, your live there's 300 people in there. Good, Neo, your videos are doing well currently. I know I'm a hater, and I know we don't get agree on a lot. Madden, I want to bear with me here. Number one, the reason I mentioned 500 million is CGC was bought for 500 million in 2020. I know it's different dynamics, different times. Maybe Beckett's more desperate. But just bear with me on this one. Madden had huge competition with an ESPN 2K video game in the early 2000s. So what did EA Sports do? They bought the full license. So no longer did they have competition. And what happened was for the next 15, 20 years, that game sucked. They didn't give a shit about making it better. They had no competition. They didn't have to compete with anyone. And the game just sucked. It was the same game over and over and over. There was no reason, but they still made a lot of money. They were still successful, but it didn't mean their customer base was happy. Did we still buy the game because there was no other game? Yep. And did eventually I stop? Yep. I played for a long time, but that's my comparison. Is it's always better when there's now it's always better when there is competition, because now they don't have to be better. Now they don't have to be is Tag really going to catch up? Does Tag have a chance?
No, the only company that could do it is CGC, and unfortunately, I don't know if they're smart enough to go ahead and take advantage of this, because here we go. The PSA just eliminated their competition, eliminated Beckett, eliminated SGC, which really was more competitive with CGC. But CGC, the first thing they do is, they raise the rates, and look. SGC Pete had the right, what can I say, recipe for beating PSA. Great customer service, fast turnarounds. They would run certain specials on certain top products to get them to market. They would get them, graded and to market faster than PSA. So there's a lot of ways. And of course, was always out there and always, different than CGC. CGC's got Andy Broom, who's really super well knowledgeable and super well qualified, but he doesn't have the personality of a Pete, doesn't come out and do interviews, doesn't come out and do what they have to do, And I think CGC, this is their moment to shine. They've got to take advantage of this right now, come up with some specials that are really going to hurt PSA, speed up their turnaround times, throw out, some stuff out there for vintage. Maybe they can even gain ground on SGC, which SGC is still the vintage company, in my opinion, So CGC's got an opportunity. You know what I would do if I was CGC? I'd try to hire Pete. I'd try to take over Mike Baker. Mike Baker's trying to get a little bit of traction here, trying to create his own brand, which I don't think it's going to be totally successful. But Baker's got a lot of knowledge in grading.
Is Mike Baker the guy with the sticker?
with the sticker. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
can bring the sticker over to CGC. He can come and help their
Yeah,
graders.
Orlando, they should be listening. You're not wrong.
I'm telling you, Baker's got a lot of great ideas, and he's well known in the hobby. He has some bad history with GAI and all that, but I think overall, Mike Baker is is respected. And if he could join CGC and maybe get, SGC Pete over to CGC, I think those two things will help CGC at least begin to have some, to compete a little bit more against PSA. If they don't do that, CGC is going to continue to be a Pokemon company, and just eventually, who knows what's going to happen, But CGC is huge.
Someone's gonna want it. I mean, there's room. There is a lane now to compete for sports, though.
Yeah.
There is some sort of lane where it's there now. If some, yeah, I mean, there's someone's going to emerge as a tiny little competition.
Yeah, I mean, and somebody commented their slabs. Their slabs are the clearest and really the best slabs I feel in the industry. They need to fix their flips. Their flips still are pretty bad. I don't like them. But the problem with CGC is the resale value. And that really is more about us as collectors who refuse to pay up for CGC cards. And a lot of that is the registry. And I think, going back to PSA can really make huge damage if they begin to include a Beckett and SGC cards in their registry. And they maybe even do some type of promotion and say, we're going to go ahead. They can eliminate Beckett and SGC. All they got to do is say, we will reholder all those cards, give them the same grades, and boom, that's it. Beckett is done with, and so is, SGC. And then put them all in the registry, or just include it and make a universal registry.
I think there's some value in that. Yeah,
the registry is really what has made PSA and why people want.
It's how much do they care? How much effort are they going to put?
Want PSA cards right now? I mean, they'll pay up for that.
We're going to get Petty on. There's 170 people in here in the first half hour, which is amazing. It should grow. Hit the damn like button. There's 40 likes. Hit it for Orlando. Hit it for Petty. Hit it for myself. But just hit the like button. It's nothing. Let's get Petty on. Orlando, I'm going to let you two go a little, but Petty, where are you coming in with all it? Welcome, Mike.
What are you saying there, Jabberwocky? Good to see you, my handsome friend. How are you there, Orlando? You're looking very handsome.
Good.
So what's all this I hear?
Lips.
What's all this I hear about the hobby dying?
The hobby is on fire, actually. I think
I'll
it's
tell you.
It's ever been. I think that it's actually hotter now than it was during COVID.
Oh, stop it.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. Boy, I'll tell you what.
No, they're just going to keep going. The machine's going to keep rolling, right? Unfortunately,
going to keep rolling, and we got a lot
Orlando,
more people coming into this hobby now than ever.
You hit on a lot of good points there, Orlando. Which you're talking about possibly CGC merging or something like. I mean, because this is going to keep happening. The funny thing is that Fanatics didn't get in a bid, on anything that we know of, and that they don't want to get into the space, or they got beat out twice. And both these companies, SGC was on a higher trajectory than Beckett, even though you look at Beckett's gem rate last month, and they were the only one that was up, which is hard to believe. But when they acquired SGC, that gave them 80% of the market. And after last night's merger, they have 80% again. So they really, what did they capture other than a couple of nice companies that they're going to end up pushing into the broom closet and just continue to grow their own brand? And that's what I see happening. And basically, you're just a bunch of rich people that are just exchanging billions. And you're right, it's all going to lead to a going public, because that's been what they were talking about 2-3 years ago. Both companies, Fanatics and
don't we all
PSA.
agree that the modern product sucks?
Well, I mean, I don't. I really can't comment on it because I won't look at it. I don't buy it, and I really don't give a shit about it.
Point
It
proven.
is so boring, and it's at the prices that you have to pay. And they're like this guy says, print more Cooper cups. I don't. I need a Cooper cup like I need a ball kick in my nuts. I mean, why do I? He hit 40
Plenty of
points last
Cooper
night.
Cup out there.
Well, what
I don't
does that
understand.
matter? I mean, nowadays everybody scores. I mean, this Lulu ball sack the other night. He had a great game. 1 for 15 from the fucking 3-point line. I'll tell you what. If I was going out and spending
Oh,
$1,000
Luca?
a
They're telling me
seat,
at 2. Come on.
yeah,
Give him
Luca.
2.
He was
Yeah.
1 for fucking 15.
I thought
And
they
then the
had
other
2.
night
They
he was
won.
2 for 15.
Okay.
He
Okay.
won. But I'm just saying it's not a fucking game anymore. You just go down, you fucking
yeah.
shoot a
Yeah.
3-point.
Yep.
And you don't even have to be good to be good. And I got
It's a
news
shit
for
product
you.
too.
I'm a short, fat guy, and I can fucking shoot half court shots like Metal Arc Lemon at a better rate than 1 for fucking 15. And I'm not kidding.
So that means
Get
he's
me
3
out there
for
and out
30 in the past 2 games.
Yeah, well, there you go. So, I mean, I think that's about what I think. But it's just the nature of the game, and people can watch that. I literally can't watch a minute of it, and I'm a diehard fan.
Same.
Since
I'm
I
the
was
same.
a kid. Since I was a kid,
I'll watch
And
playoff basketball. The refs are also bought by the players or by whoever. It's bad
Right.
refereeing as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
and don't get me
there's
started
no-
with the WNBA with their refereeing. It's horrible
There's
too.
no defense anymore, guys. I mean, it's just,
100%. I know.
everybody's just shooting 3-pointers or just putting it
You
up.
got
and
5 steps, with no
Yeah.
traveling. I mean,
I'll give the Thunder
yeah.
some. You know what I like about the Thunder is they do it different. They're not everyone's running the same offense. Everyone's shooting threes. They won the finals without being a big 3-point shooting team. So it's just
it
one.
can be done. And you know what? It's hard to believe. Then why didn't all the other teams shift and stop with the 3-pointers? Everybody's shooting 3-pointers because of what Golden State did. With
Yes,
Curry,
that's
and
right.
they did that mathematical problem that the more I shoot 3-point, get down, you don't waste 24
D'Antoni.
seconds. Yeah, you get down there, you shoot a 3-pointer in like 3 seconds, and you get the ball back again. So that's
What-
the game that they're playing, and it's
So-
just ruined the game.
I didn't ask Orlando this, but to both of you, that's also big news that's overshadowed that Fanatics Fanatics Live is pretty much trying to take all the breaker allocation.
Is that what they're doing? I mean, I heard that they
Yeah.
laid off a bunch of breakers.
No,
right?
I think they're going to stop slowing allocation to others unless you're in from how I understand, from what I've read, from what I've seen. Yeah, I mean, they want you over there.
Where's backyard breaks? What do they do? What format are they
They're
in?
on
Why
Whatnot
not?
for now. I don't think they wanted him over there, but maybe they'll have to go over there. I don't know.
I
That's
think
a
I
good
told
question.
you when last time I was on about a month ago, I think I mentioned that I thought in about a year that half of the breakers would be gone. And I think you see that beginning to happen now. A lot of them are the small breakers are going to be off of Fanatics Live. I mean, some of those will go on eBay Live and some of them will stay on Whatnot. But even Whatnot, it's not what it used to be.
I don't really understand the fascination with that channel. I've looked at it so many times, and I literally am on like a 37-inch monitor here. And when it comes up on my screen, it's like this big. It's like, I swear I could see it just as good on my telephone. And then, you got writing, which you can get rid of, but you just can't. You see the card for like a second, they turn it or whatever. Like, wouldn't you like to look at the card? And eBay Live is more the same. But the thing that eBay Live had, I did watch Ash the other day. He was doing the eBay Live. And at least you can click on the card that he's auctioning, and it takes you to his eBay page. And it will show you a picture of the card. Even though it only gives you 15 seconds to bid, at least you can look at the damn card up close. Because anybody that's bidding on shit on Whatnot, literally, guys, I have to tell you, you're throwing your money away. I mean, I know it's a time waster, but like I got an idea. Why don't you sit down and brainstorm for 15 minutes to figure out how you can start a fucking business somehow?
Or, it's so much smarter to take any money you're throwing into Whatnot and doing research on which card you want to buy. Don't just take what they're throwing up in your face.
And enough with these prospects, at these prices and what's going on. And the next first to the line, or I mean, these names that they have for every little thing. And I'm just so tired of it. It's so bothersome. In all honesty, I think it's one of the most sickening things in the hobby.
But that's why it's successful, because it's people overpay. You don't have time to check comps. You don't have time to take a good look at the card. You just put in the bid, and then everybody gets hyped up. Oh, I gotta have it. I gotta have it, and just keep bidding, bidding, bidding.
And it's like they're trying to one up on each other to see who's smarter, who can get the prospect, who can get the Mahomes, who can get the Otani. And one of the things that I've done in my baseball card collecting career, and this has been going back now for 50 plus years, and this is that when a new player comes out in a baseball card, I don't want to know his name. I don't need to know how to pronounce his name. I don't need the Deli a la Cruz. He's like the 5th searched eBay guy on eBay. Ellie Del La Cruz, before Willie Mays, before any of these great players, Nolan Ryan. And this guy strikes out like a fucking machine. He's in a 162 game season. He's got like 200 strikeouts. He could strike out 300 times in 162 games. I mean, it's fucking insane.
The guy,
that people are paying for him,
and the money.
Wait for a minute. Wait for 5 fucking years. If the guy steals 150 bags and hits 58 homers in a year, go ahead. Pay the fucking money, but don't pay the money when he's just starting out, because you're just throwing your money right in the trash. I swear to God, I'd rather light $100 bills on fire than buy shit like that.
Look at Skeens. I mean, they paid $1 million for that card.
And he's playing well, but that doesn't mean anything.
And I called for his arm to be out. I thought his arm would be out by now, but he's a freak, much like Shohei.
Still doing great, but you know what? He doesn't have that great of a record.
No.
Team was bad, yeah.
I mean, well, even Otani. Do you see Otani's record? What's his record? Can you pull that up? Jabberwocky?
Yeah, Otani's record isn't great, but
it's like
Ohtani
45 and 48 or something like that. I mean, he's a less than a 500 pitcher. And
all right, that's an old stat though. We should be looking at
it's an old stat. It's a fucking that's his lifetime stat.
But it said, okay, I looked it up. It's much better than you guys said. It says 39 wins and 20 losses.
Are you sure?
That's through the 25 season, including strong dotted I.
And his ERA is
3 on the money. 3 on the money.
I thought he had less than 500. I'm going on here. I don't believe
either way, guys. I mean, the modern hobby is about Otani and Judge. Those are the two guys.
Okay, here's what I want to see, because you guys are talking about prospects, is 10 years ago the money wasn't in like this. So I want to see, people were spending this much money on Fernando Tatis Jr. and Vlad Guerrero, and Vlad Guerrero's had a nice career, and maybe they're spending. I want to see what this big money in a day, like on all the prospects, how many people are going to lose? Everybody, they did with Kyler Murray. Now look what happened to Kyler Murray. Caleb. It just, it's mind-boggling.
I stand corrected. You are correct. 39 and 20.
I didn't know. I just
yeah. Okay, you're right. 6 years. I don't know what the hell I was looking at. Where I thought he was like 46, or I don't know. It was much.
That might have been his Dodgers. Maybe his Dodgers record. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have his.
Because he only had 1 win last year. I don't know what.
He was 1-1 in 2025. That's
1-1. I mean, what the fuck? He had 14 games started. He won 1 game. And he's the best pitcher ever.
But his ERA is 3. He's a good. I mean, the fact that I know you're looking at you guys are more in the. It blows my.
No, I mean,
and we've never seen anybody pitch, and
he's
like
good.
That.
And I'm a Dodger fan. I love the guy.
He's
get me wrong.
He's like Steph Curry. He's unique. He does something nobody else can do.
He and Judge are the best players of our era, and you can't say no to that.
But you do know there's not just one card and one signature from the guy.
Oh, that's the mind, and they keep making more.
And he's not getting any younger. I mean, unless he died tomorrow, that could happen. And then at least you get all the other potential autographs, that he could have signed. But I mean, you're already looking at millions of signatures out there.
So we're officially not a hobby anymore, right? Now we're an industry.
No, it's definitely just a business right now. I'm not in it. And neither is Orlando. We're just collectors.
Yeah, I call it's a gambler's paradise right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody's gambling. They try to get the.
And you got these two guys. These two guys own everything. They are, typical billionaires. They're just shady as fuck. That they don't care about anything but the almighty dollar. I mean, much like most of the guys in the card business? I mean, I'm not. If you're a breaker like Geo, you know, he tries to be.
Frank, you're
You
hiding
know,
Petty's face. Go ahead. Sorry.
I am. Oh, that's all right. No, but I mean,
No,
like
Frank.
Gio, you know, he
Sorry.
tries to be transparent and everything, and I really appreciate him. And he comes on your show and he has to take that shit every time, which I don't think is right. You know, I think that he's already been on there. He showed who he is. You know, the thing that I find just impossible though is that thing I had to try to get on and talk about that with the 26 houses. Okay. So, and I know that was one of the things that kind of you had one nerve and he was on it, right,
Yeah.
Professor?
Yeah.
So I mean, you it really hit a nerve with you
It
because
did.
I mean, here because you're struggling to buy a house and whatnot, you know, like anybody would be, like I did until I was in my 40s, struggling to just buy one little house. And here's a guy, didn't he take like $2 million to build an app? And then
Yes.
he had to bankrupt that company. But
Yeah.
yet he bounces on his feet with 26 houses. So he couldn't just have these 26 houses, okay? And do you know the kind of property managers that you have to manage that kind of property and to pay for those just to write the fucking bills out for that and to get, do you think the idiots out there are paying their fucking rent in Tennessee? With there's nothing but well, other than my friend Tony in the nice areas, you know, you got a bunch of just knuckleheads out there. And I mean, it's got to be just a clusterfuck. And if the shit hits the fan like it did in 2008, and like we've seen over time when 3 strippers had fucking 5 houses,
Hey now.
and which I mean, no disrespect to the strippers, but he's going to lose all those houses because that's not the path to riches. You start out with one house. You work towards paying that off. Then you buy another house with 20% down. You work on paying that off. You go one, I mean, this is basic economics 101. This is not a fucking get rich quick scheme like a fucking monopoly board that you buy it every time you fucking land on it. It's just moronic. Dave Ramsey did the same fucking thing. He went bankrupt before he ended up, you know, going into a more conservative strategy. But I mean, and then he comes on with this PSA bullshit and he starts talking shit to Mookie, who tried to set him straight. And once again, he calls Mookie a jackass.
Wait, what
or a
happened with
donkey.
this? What happened
He calls
with this?
Mookie a donkey. And here Mookie is a Hall of Fame commenter and was spot on as usual with his comment. And that's why Gio is a fucking jackass Hall of Famer. Because he's just spouting shit based on his, you know, sponsorships.
I thought
You know,
that
Patty,
me and Gio got.
Sorry,
gotta
go
give
ahead.
Gio
Go ahead,
some-
Orlando.
some credit here. You know, I mean, you know, Gio knows the right people. You know, he knows. You know, he's a smart guy.
Yep.
And he's gotten into the industry, and he's hanging around these guys, going to those white parties or
I
whatever.
would never go into business with the guy.
No, I
Because
wouldn't either.
he'd fucking steal every last dollar that you had.
Hey now.
Because he doesn't have any business.
I don't know. You know, I don't know any of this, but
he's taken
I
advantage.
know about it.
Gio's
I
taken
know people.
advantage of the
I know
opportunity.
people like him. I've been around people like him. I've had customers like him.
I
know
want
exactly.
to get this out there. I think that Gio
Go
wants
fuck
the
small
non-belly
businesses.
rubs. Gio wants
taking
the,
advantage of the
but
opportunity.
he wants the heat. And when it got real, when he struck a nerve, now we're all upset, or now he's gonna not show his face, or now he's gonna get.
He wasn't supposed to come on until the first of the year anyway.
Got a little real.
He quit the show. He was going to come on after the first of the year.
That's
which
right.
he'll come on again. And there
I
should
don't
be
know.
no.
He's been pretty quiet for me.
Well, like I said, I'm not gonna bring it up with the guy. I just wanted to address that housing shit because I felt bad for you, and he was trying to keep it real with you that night, and you were getting mad at him, and I was actually on his side because he was telling you, "How do I do?"
I was being emotional and real too, because you said he struck a nerve. He hit a point. I wasn't ready.
Because you're working your ass off on one income, and you're trying to fucking say
no. But I want to make the point that it's the 20-year-olds, man. We've set up a society where this PSA and Fanatics thing is going on. Imagine being. It's not me. I mean, I'm me. I'm gonna be all right. But the 19, 20, 18-year-old, those the other industries is. I just didn't want to make it about me. It became more about me, but. It's not as easy as work harder. That's the thing that got me. I mean,
it's not, but he is right as far as like, you know, if you had like you didn't want to be a teacher, like there's like first of all, it's one of the best professions in the world. we shit on our teachers
No,
in
no,
America.
no. But this is a flawed argument because people
It's
end up
not.
graduating. No, but hear me out. You graduate college and there's no jobs.
Right.
I graduated college as a journalism major, and I realized, bro, I'm stuck in this high school newspaper thing for 10 years. Like, that's not what I don't want to be going to do high school all the time. There's not jobs for these young people. So teaching is a profession. Teaching is a job you can get into where there's a good amount of money coming in, more than you're going to make in others. So it's
Pension,
not. I graduated.
which nobody
it's not
gives
like there
pensions
jobs
anymore.
hanging off trees,
No.
and not everyone is set up to go. If everyone was a businessman, and not everyone is. I teach. Not everyone's set up to go do their own thing. There's many people that just need to be
absolutely.
employed,
But
the
there's
other
there's
side
not jobs
there's
like
loan
that
there
because
is-
people don't want to work.
You know what he says?
that's the
we're
problem.
creating jobs, but are you
That's-
creating jobs that pay health care? Are you creating jobs that pay enough for people? Because Walmart's not, and I'm not comparing him to Walmart.
No.
But there's
No,
there's many jobs out there that aren't paying their workers a living and a wage to save and to feel good about life. So
Then where's all the money from the
problem
hobby
now,
coming?
guys, the problem now is everybody wants, the young people all want the quick money.
Mhm.
That's why they do this, the hobby, and get into the breaking and the gambling.
Ho, ho, ho.
That's why.
Hey, now. You're
that's-
right.
that-
By the way,
that's
you're
why
right.
when
Quick
What's up
money.
there, Elf?
everybody
Merry
wants
Christmas.
to be
Merry Christmas.
You know, everybody wants to be an influencer now. They want to get
Yeah.
on TikTok. They want to be rich. I mean, you even see these kids going to school, and what do they want to do? Oh, I want to be an influencer. I want to do TikTok videos, and they're going to
Well-
college trying to do that. So,
Well, you
it's
know,
just the
college, I
way
used to
that-
be a big proponent of college.
Today.
I would tell everybody, hey, if you don't know what you
Yeah,
want to
now
do,
it's
go to
rough.
college. But you know what? Now I'd say find a trade.
Unless you want to be
Go
a
to trade
doctor, don't go
school.
to college.
Right. I mean, if you're going to be a doctor, that's one thing. Or
But I agree with you.
But I mean, it's because it's just
It's
why
become
be
a money
$100,000 in debt? It is.
Is sports
Oh.
breaking a trade?
Yes, it's
Hell
a trade.
no.
How's Naked
Hell
Breaks
no.
doing, Ziggy? Did you get that started yet? Naked Breaks?
No. I'm out of the breaking world, man. I'm out.
How did you get out? Just when they thought you were out, they dragged you back in?
I'll tell you all about that. But before I do that, I do want to take one quick moment. I want to make an apology first, if I may.
Hey, now.
You want to put the script on me or give me a moment? Dan.
No, go. All for it.
Dan from Dan's PC Cards, and I think that's the right group. I apologize. I want
Dan's
to
Vintage Baseball PC, I
Okay.
think is how you say it.
I
The
apologize
apology tour.
for upsetting you a few weeks ago on Hobby Hotline and razzling you. I apologize. You were offended that I referred to you as old dude. I do want to just kind of share some insight. I called you old dude because in the chat, when I asked you, would you drop the link? You said, not for you, dude. And you kept referring to me as dude. And you also kept referring to yourself as an old man. You jokingly say to yourself, you know, I'm an old guy, old this. So I jokingly was saying back to you, old dude. I didn't mean it as an offense. I thought it was joking. And the reason, by the way, Dan, that I wanted to get involved in Hobby Hotline was I just wanted to ask Chris about, is PSA protect the subber? The whole question that people had asked, you know, who gets the guarantee warranty? Is it for the guy who buys a car? Is it the subber? I just wanted Chris to answer that question on Hobby Hotline. It was a great chance to
All
ask
right, you're
it.
killing the buzz.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, so here's the thing.
but you
You
do
have to remember,
apologize. I think
Ziggy,
your main
Ziggy.
point was to say sorry.
Here's the thing, Ziggy. You have to remember that guy, Chris, he's not going to answer any. You can't just pop in on that guy because the problem is he's just a fucking idiot.
Okay, anyway.
And he's only there because he's John Newman's friend. And they can't put him out there as a PSA rep. He's just there to kind of fluff the fucking show up.
Anyway,
and nobody calls in on that show. They call it a hobby hotline.
Hey,
This
Ziggy,
is a
you'll be happy
college
to
show.
hear. Apology accepted in the comments.
Again, Dan, I
Good
do
job.
apologize. And I was
Hey,
saying
now. Here I, okay, all right.
my transition to that was I thought, and the reason I say this was I mentioned that because I think one thing that we could ask PSA to do that I think would be a big difference, extend your warranty to Beckett, right? What gives PSA great value is that warranty we all talk about. I'm not going to write the details. I don't understand it, but it does give them a market differentiator. If that same thing was on Beckett, and maybe it's in Beckett slabs moving forward, then it would give Beckett some viability, which would give the market two choices. And I know it's one master, but it would give the collectors a choice of how you want subgrades.
Okay, hold on. I think we got to rewind because you just hopped on. I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
Is what I mean? Come on, you go on. You had shit to tell me yesterday. I'm like, no, save it.
Yes.
It's like,
I'll tell
come
you.
on, you have some good.
I
know
can
your
take a
opinion
crap
and
in a
you know
box
it.
and
So I will tell you.
I want to talk to Ziggy about that because, you know, Ziggy, the reason they don't do that
Oh,
is because of the
fuck.
upcharge. Unless Beckett doesn't do upcharges, SGC doesn't
Well,
do
can they could.
upcharges.
They could.
Well now.
And again, but are you going to
They
accept?
might.
I'm just saying. My point to this is like Gio was talking about value. The best way to bring value to Beckett is to give a warranty to that side. And let me transition real quickly. What the professor wants to get to, and this goes into the breaking thing. I was working as a breaker, but I've been working for private equity for the last year, and I know working for private equity.
Big money.
I was involved in going after Beckett for somebody, so I can give you some insights on this Beckett deal. I don't know all the details. There are certain things I cannot share, numbers I cannot share, but
you're ready to share some of this.
Just start talking.
So
share it all. I don't need this.
I'm going to tell you what, he has a lot to say. If he can
all right,
say it.
let's get it going.
I will start with, so about a year ago, I started by finding out who is the person selling Beckett. And what I did was I tracked down North Carolina. North Carolina is where the case was. I contacted the criminal division and was able to get his criminal defense attorney, who got me in touch with his personal attorney. I mentioned this because you asked earlier about, will the financials ever come out? They might come out because of North Carolina. North Carolina might be getting this money. And if that's the case, they might then disclose the money because I think almost $2 billion is owed. And if you follow Simon, right, he did a thing about one other company was sold and those numbers were public. So watch for that to come out. You could see.
Wait, so you think all the money is just going to go to North Carolina from this sale?
This way, the sale is going to go to paying his fees. He owes $2 billion. Okay. To North Carolina's capturing that money for, and again, I'm not a legal expert, but for the people who the damage was done to. I forget the word term is, but you can Google all this recently. Like there was just a $300 million award that was given out to people.
It was an insurance fraud.
Yeah, but so the point is, so in November we started by tracking him down, and I will give you some background here. I was going to go to the prison he was at when I found out he's not at a prison. You'll look and you can see he's actually being held in martial custody. So he's in home arrest. But it was cool.
Unbelievable.
I will tell you this. I badgered his attorney enough that finally the day before, I think it was like the Friday before Thanksgiving week, he finally called me back and said, okay, what is going on? And I explained to him, I'm a collector and I'm with a bunch of investors who would like to make an offer on buying Beckett. And he said, well, I'll see what I can do. And I passed my information on for Thanksgiving. In December, after Christmas or right around January, they came back to us through a lawyer and started some negotiation process. Now that stopped because if you look, January of last year, a special master gets assigned to the case, right? So in my opinion, what happened was the government came in, he was trying to sell his assets and the government came in and said, what are you doing? How much are these things worth? So we were put on hold. We worked for a few months. And again, I'll just give some high level details. We ended up at the beginning, we were looking at, and I know a lot about the entire company without going into too much details. There is the publication, there's the grading, there's the authentication. The authentication piece is the cash cow of the business, right? Because it is really, that's the part that really has value. The grading is a niche piece, but it has the most potential because it's what people think about when they think about Beckett. But if you bought the grading without the authentication, you'd probably struggle, okay? So they'd probably come together. I assume that's how this would be done too. Right. And you could also look to see if Steve Grad, he's an investor. He should probably get some stock or get some payout of this. Another investor in this, by the way, is Brian Gray. Brian Gray's been public about the fact he was part of Beckett Authentication. Right. So he knows Beckett Authentication, he's an investor there. If this is all coming out, he's going to get some money from this.
So did you make an offer? Can you say anything about that?
We did make an offer on Beckett grading authentication last year, and it was basically ignored / rejected. This is also when collectivist news came out, where the big number came out, and then I went back to the team I was working with, and we discussed about should we make a bigger offer, and we ended up making a bigger offer. And I will say we also spoke to other people in the industry who had made previous offers. So there have been offers made at Beckett for a couple of times, okay, which I don't think is a surprise to anybody. It's no surprise this company's been sitting there.
It went for more money than people think.
I don't know, but I would assume it did. Okay, I would assume it went for a lot more money than we think. Without saying anything, what else can I share?
Was Brian Gray part of the?
Let me share another part. Okay,
good question. Good. Okay,
when we finally made our offer, right? First, we had a hard time tracking down investors and influencers because the CEO did not want to talk. Isaacson was very stubborn. I hammered my way into talking to him like a stubborn salesperson, taking no and no and no and no over and over. Finally, we were able to then go to the special master, and then we went to his board and we made a pitch to them. And I will say that at that time, I was told that there was oversight. So I don't think Beckett could do anything without oversight. Now, I don't know if that's the case, because again, if you look into this, and I was looking at today, I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if he could have made the purchase without the oversight or not, but I do know that we pitched to both parties. And we were told no, and we were told there was just too much complication at the time. This was last spring. And we were told there would take some time before they would be able to find. And the impression I got was there was too much shit messed up in the past from the legal issues that it would take them time to clear stuff up before they could be ready for an offer.
Yeah, but then it happened.
I will say I'm surprised it came this soon, but I am not surprised it happened. I will also say I am surprised it was PSA, although I was not working for PSA. I knew they were a competitor to the team I was working for, right? So I'm surprised they won this, is the way I say it. And I'll say this too, on that note, I don't know why we give much credit to anybody besides Nat Turner right now as far as in this hobby. He's the only one who's really doing business here. I mean, I don't know what Ruben's done since he bought the license that he's done that's been good. You tell me something he did that's been successful or as a good move, because honestly, he's getting his butt kicked. And let me just add this too. He is partnered with the players. So he's on profit share. He's basically their bitch, right? Nat Turner is no one's. Those guys are printing money. I mean, it is crazy.
The guys at Collectors are going to be wildly rich.
And again,
shortly.
The thing is, I mentioned this too on the IPO thing. Why? Why go IPO? You go IPO when you want to get money, but when you're filthy rich, how much more filthy rich you get? This machine.
They want
to me, selling the companies sound more.
Geo, your friend, because
selling
1 ounce isn't good.
Selling
you need
sounds
26.
more reasonable.
Going public requires you to disclose things. You have to go public for 6 months and show earnings without any scandal. I'll put it this way. I don't care if they go public or not. It's a masterful company. They've done a phenomenal job. Hate them or not. They're just skating circles around the rest of the industry.
Someone asked why do people think PSA will improve Beckett? It makes no sense. Hey, Grail Hunter put, and I lost the comment, but Grail Hunter put that Beckett and SGC won't even be around in a year. And look what PSA's done with SGC. So I mean, if PSA or bust.
If by some chance there was any complaints about antitrust, which I doubt would come up, this is a great time to spin off SGC. Right. And that's why you keep SGC around, because if you come in with antitrust, and a lot of companies do this, you spin off the one that you don't want, the ugly kid.
Nobody's coming in for antitrust.
I agree, but my point is,
it's not going to happen,
guys. Nat Turner has got this thing checkmate chess. It's over. He doesn't care. Antitrust, non-antitrust. He doesn't care about the licenses. He doesn't care if you guys are grading Pokemon, if you're grading freaking Batman cards. He doesn't care if it's he's game over. So I don't know. And also this too, real quickly.
They also don't care about grading consistency, which is a fucking shame.
Because it's magic. It's magic. I've said that before, and you're not going to have specs. Let me say this too. If you're new to the hobby, is this bad for you? I don't think it is. If you're brand new to the hobby coming in, this makes
it doesn't have significance, I don't think, on them.
It's actually easier. I mean, I can get my slab in a golden label with subs, and that's Beckett, which I remember the name Beckett, or I can get it from PSA and it has value. It's phenomenal for them, guys.
Do you think? I mean, I think grading is moving in a way where there's only so many people doing it, but they're doing all of it. I think less and less of me or just the general public is paying out those kind of prices for grading. I think it's being done by a majority of people that are dealers or have money that have a business in on it.
Well, I would say, remember, the key to the grading world is really the authentication. It is the most valuable piece of this business. JSA is the only one out there who competes in the space. And what I mean by that is, I know PSA is grading a card, but they also can authenticate an autographing card, and that is more valuable.
Well, so can Mike Baker. He graded over 100,000 fake Mickey Mantles before.
I don't think he does authentic.
No. Hey, he can start anytime.
Well, again, I'm just saying, a lot of people have tried. I'm saying this, remember back in 2020, a lot of people came in the grading space and tried. I think you could see another way.
Not Mike Baker.
Orlando had something to throw in.
Well, JSA is working with CGC, so that's why I think that CGC has an opportunity.
You think PSA wants Steve Grad back?
They have him.
Well, he'll be fucking gone, and he'll be with Baker next. These guys these jackasses just fucking rotate.
Well, this
like
is
a bunch of roaches.
this is CSG's opportunity to really take advantage and go ahead and take all these guys and scoop
Yeah,
them
but
all
you know,
up.
everybody says, oh, they have such nice flips, they have such nice plastic. Personally, I think their plastic looks like shit. I
Oh, we're
think the
talking about. I
card
don't like their
inside
slab either.
CGC, the card
Yeah.
inside those slabs, the way they have those plastic inserts everywhere, and then they have the fucking sleeve inside, just like Beckett, some of them. It looks like they look like shit. And I mean, any card in there now is certainly trimmed because it can't get an SGC slab.
Again, Petty, they need somebody in there that really, you know, like a SGC Pete or a Mike Baker to make those
Yeah.
changes. I mean,
But
remember,
they just
CSG,
don't because the hobby doesn't care about that,
Yes, it's-
Orlando, obviously.
CSG just started doing oversized cards.
By the way, I
They can't
want to
even grade
play.
oversized cards.
I want to play a couple voicemails in a minute or two, and we could all react. But Ziggy, what did you have to say?
Okay. In my opinion, if you want to go after that market, you got to make it attractive to new people. New people are attracted to gamification or money. Okay. So in other words, either gamify it and somewhere I'm collecting and I'm getting a registry set different than anybody else, which again, I think is gonna be hard to do because it's almost over there. Or you got to show me value. I'm sorry. They're not collecting for the same reasons you guys collect. And that is why, like, I'm teasing in the chat, but the reality is, guys, I just bought some break spots, the Mavericks. I'm going to get a bunch of Cooper Cup cards back, and I'm going to send them all to PSA and grade them. That's how I make
Yeah, but
money.
you know, Ziggy, everyone does it different. I know that's your way. Everybody in the hobby, it's so everyone does it a little different. And
but new people are doing the same thing I'm doing, and the message is
some people get, you know, you took onto it. Some new people get in that and realize, oh shit, there's a different way to do this. That's just a big entry point. But I do think people move off it. You happen to stay because you're working the system. You enjoy it. For me, I enjoy researching a card or what I want to buy. You know, I think people do it so different. So you're in your favor. There's definitely people in your doing your lane as well.
Yeah, I mean, Ziggy's lane is first to market. I mean, that's the bottom line. And if he can do that, and you can make a lot of money. Look at the Cooper flag card. You know, the base sold for $800.
I know,
but
crazy.
the price continues to go down. So it's all about speed and get it in and out. And Ziggy does that. He does that well. Guys,
I'd rather get a DB Cooper.
I'm gonna go ahead and get out. I'm going to let Ziggy, because pretty soon you got the old dude Dan coming in. So I'm going to get back in the chat. So thanks, guys.
Okay, Orlando. Hey,
Appreciate
I know
guys.
Dan wanted kind of Petty and Orlando to be on. So Petty, I don't know if you want to stay, but Orlando, thank you
I'll
for coming
stay on.
on.
What the fuck? I got nothing.
All right, Orlando.
In the chat. I'll
See you,
let
Orlando.
Ziggy and
Glad
Dan.
you're feeling better. Really
Love
happy
you,
you're
buddy.
feeling
Good to see
better.
you, my friend.
Good to
Wow.
see you, Orlando. Happy holidays.
And
Thanks for all
now,
the sage advice.
do you guys want? Can we get a couple voicemails to react to? Is that cool?
Yes.
All right, let's hit a couple voicemails. Let me. If you want to leave a message, 702-483-7344. We got Frank covering Petty. I'm gonna get rid of that. Let's do it. Here's one. It's 33 seconds.
Who's that guy?
We're not hearing anything, man.
Right. I didn't hear anything.
Oh, you couldn't hear?
No. It's real big, just really quiet, like everybody.
What the fuck? I heard the whole thing. Oh man, you couldn't hear.
Oh, by the way,
I know why. So
by
give
the
me
way,
a sec.
I also was working on the Panini thing too. I've seen Panini, and they're not getting bought either. But I can tell you, they would have been bought last year.
How do we want to do this? Damn it! Oh, you can't see because it's not up, huh? Okay, hold up. Sorry. Oh, what an idiot. I don't even know if this will work. Let's see.
I'll tell you what, you figured your mics out though. That was
yeah. Well, no more echo. Can you hear?
HBO.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey now. All right. It's 30 seconds. I can't believe I played that whole thing. It's 30 seconds, and I want to start with chiming in with WWE and ESPN afterwards, and then you two can give me your take. But here we go.
Reminds me of, this reminds me of Netflix buying HBO. We're going to be priced out. I mean, we already have people, cutting, all these streaming channels, and this PSA and Beckett, whatever you want to call it, I mean, it's just pricing people out of the hobby. And if you want to really be honest, if I want to be honest, what's the most fun I've ever had in the hobby? I haven't had fun in the hobby since 2022.
I mean, I definitely have fun with the smaller stuff, the fines. What I wanted to take from it was, recently ESPN did that deal with WWE, and it's $30 a month to get in. It's not like everyone rushed over. So there is a point in all this where, people get swayed. I don't know if it's costing people a ton. I don't know. Do you have any takes on that voicemail?
I have a take. I mean, I think he's 100% right. Is they are really making it more expensive. I mean, the grading is just going to go up and up and up, like everything does. And then they're like, at what point do the people just finally like wise up? When they can't make money anymore, that's when they wise up, and when they get stuck holding all this shit. I've said it before that first of all, these companies are not recycling their plastic. The plastic that they're using is just horse shit. Okay? It's end use plastic from China. So basically, you're not even buying a recyclable plastic, because they don't give a shit. So all this plastic is just going to end up in the landfills. And it just goes, you go down to Irvine down there, Santa Ana. I went in the back down there when I was down there last time, and they just have roll-offs of plastic from all the broken shit. They're not separating anything because like the paper, like paper labels or anything out there. It's just all shit. Now, unless they're incinerating that, which there's no incinerators out here. Okay, so you're talking about either getting rid of that plastic for $100 a ton, or probably about $800 to $1,000 a roll-off at minimum. Okay, or if you want to send that out for incineration, you're talking about $10,000, and I guarantee you they're not recycling. Okay, so there's another thing about this company. They're not zero waste. They don't give a shit. They're just a disgusting, despicable company. I'm so tired of them that I can't even begin to tell you how fucking pissed off I am with them. I will never use them again.
I was going to ask you which company you're talking about.
PSA. Well, all of them really. But I mean, I will buy PSA graded cards on occasion. I will buy an SGC card going forward, perhaps. Maybe not, but I might. And here's the thing. I'm just buying the card anyway. I don't give a fuck about the label. But in the end, I'm not going to put my hard-earned money into something where I can't get it back. Even if I lose it, look, I don't buy it for that, but I'd be lying to you if I didn't say that I expect at some point to have these cards sold. And so you want them to be the most attractive that you can get them to people, so you can sell them.
We got time for another voicemail. Ziggy, you have a thought?
No. I want to hear more voicemails, please.
All right, let's try to make it's a little long, but it's on the PSA Beckett. It's Kenny F. and Powers. Here we go.
Hey,
I love him.
Powers here. Just got done reading an article about Collectors has entered into an agreement to acquire Beckett. Beckett will continue operating as its own independent brand, maintaining its grading standards, marketplace, price guide, and customer experience. No changes to PSA or Beckett pricing, and all orders will continue to be processed as usual. Bullshit! Bullshit! You fucked up! You fucked up! Fuck you, Nat Turner! You fucking lying prick!
Hey now!
Oh, I'm sure he's gonna do all the rounds for media, all over social media, and all the suck-off friends, all the little boyfriends sucking them off like...
All right.
He's 100% right again. Well,
I know
your fucking watchers here are couldn't be any more right on.
I would
Danny Powers.
I would be curious though about Nat's popularity. I mean, so many people are huge fans of him.
Why would they be a fan of his?
I'm just telling you.
Everybody. I know. Me too. I mean, everybody is. And I feel like ever since he bought it, he's cared about the money.
I know, but he's a collect. Like, I'll give you a good example.
I know that's what everyone says. He's a collector. Doesn't
about Jeremy Lee, but I remember asking
mutually
Jeremy,
exclusive.
would you rather Nat Turner or Jeff Wilson buy? And he said easily Nat Turner because Nat Turner is a real collector. And I remember saying to myself, I don't know. At least I know Jeff's a businessman. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, at least you know where Jeff stands. He's a shitty businessman, and I'm joking. He's a businessman, whatever the hell he is. But Nat has been a shark in this industry, man. He's carved this thing up since the beginning, guys. He came in, and
Yeah.
I'll point out, it really back.
Did
doesn't mean
did
it's
he
great
do
for the
anything
end
good for the
user.
what has he done good
That's
for the
right.
fucking collector?
That's right.
Nothing
Other than
good.
steal
Nothing
their
good.
fucking money.
Hey now.
Also, the first time when he started selling, I remember he was that old guy calling out that you don't sell and grade. You can't grade what you're selling. And he crossed that boundary and no one stopped him.
And no one cared. And
What
look
can we
at
do?
it. And
I care. I
me-
care.
Let me talk about that for a while because I touched
Dan
on this.
Vintage Baseball is going to come on in about a
He'll
minute.
come
Let's
on.
let Petty
Get
go.
it.
Yeah.
Let me go and then put him right on. But
Yep.
here's the thing that everybody is missing. I tried to explain this last night, but picture this, okay? You have PSA making offers on every fucking card that goes through their system and more. Even if it doesn't go through your system, you might if you go and check the serial number on your card just to happen to look at it on your website, you might see a PSA offer on there. Okay. Now that's a PSA offer. Who are the fucking 50 people or 100 people that are under that PSA umbrella? Because they say, oh, well, we're not buying it. Oh, yes, you are. It's got your fucking name on it. Okay. So they go in there and they buy all these PSA 8s and 9s and they fucking line up their carts or however they do it with PSA. And then they take it to PSA. Oh, can you look at these please for me? And maybe give me and there you go. This is happening by the hundreds of thousands of cards, not by 10 little fucking cards. 100. It's multiply it every fucking day. And Jeff Wilson, here's your fucking face right here. You see that? That's fucking Jeff Wilson face right here. A fucking Joker smile and a fucking grifter because he's just a fucking loser. I'm so tired of him and his PSA bullshit. Hey, Dan, how are you, my handsome friend? You were looking very young. You're looking very young.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to not call myself old anymore because then everybody's going to do it.
Well, remember when we were at Strongsville and they gave me the tab and I pointed to you and I said, give it to my grandpa.
Oh.
Let me.
You were there. It was funny.
That's dirty.
Yeah, but you paid it, so.
I want to get Dan taped. I want 30 more seconds of this voicemail, and then we'll jump to Dan.
Jeff
Thanks.
And fucking all these other cocksuckers.
Oh.
And he's going to go off about, oh, no, we love Beckett. And it's been a great part of the hobby for years, and we want to keep that. We want to keep that trust.
All right, Dan, I'm going to pause it. Dan's nice enough to join us. Dan, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Jason? Thanks for inviting me back on. Appreciate it.
How you feeling, Dan? You're looking good.
I'm feeling pretty good.
So what's your take on all this PSA, Beckett? You have a hot take?
Here's my take. I bought a bunch of magnetic card holder one touches. That's my take. Yeah, I got a lot of takes, Jason. I got a lot of takes.
I'm anxious to hear them.
I think Nat Turner's kind of an idiot, honestly. I think we think of him as this like wealthy, smart guy, but he's kind of a dope. I mean, what are you doing buying Beckett? I mean, that's just I could understand because that was like a competitor. But Beckett? Like, what the hell are you doing? It's like I think that these VC, money guys like aren't really that smart. They think to get, like Vivek Ramaswamy and Andrew Yang, guys like that, they're morons. Like in real life, they make some money, they get a little lucky, and now suddenly people think they're smart. Just because you have money doesn't mean you're smart.
But he's a collector.
The honest money, the people who make honest money, like Mike Petty, that's a smart guy. But this purchase of Beckett is just phenomenally stupid. I just people haven't said this. People are like, oh, well, they bought him for this, they bought him for that. I don't know what they were doing. It's just a stupid move. And at this point, I kind of think Nat Turner's an idiot. I mean, PSA is being run like shit anyway. So, like,
it really is.
Maybe.
You pose a good question. What
maybe
is
this is
the
all going to shake out, but we'll see.
Why did they buy them?
Can I let me give you some insight on that. And it's going to sound contrary. So when I was working with the private equity, it's hard to explain to them what grading even was. Okay. It was very hard to explain to them why you would pay a premium on an item like that. In fact, one of the conversations that came up was how you could create counterfeits, frauds, how you could basically make your own money. How that's basically what you can do in industry like that. Okay.
Yep.
And when you see that, you ask yourself, you want to be involved in that. And I would say that if you look at this industry, private equity, in my opinion, is not going to come in it like people think it will. The team I was working with ultimately made an offer. They didn't get what they wanted. They left. Now I say that because if I'm Nat Turner, I look at this and go, you don't see the value of Beckett, but if that's part of this, I freaking own this industry. Because I'll say what he stole, everybody's like, well, he didn't get any money.
Sure does.
Like Jeff's comment about, he took 4%. What he took, guys, was hope. And I think Neo posted the little Star Wars, gif of, Anakin. He did take hope because the hobby did have hope. Hey, Beckett's out there. Someday Beckett might get bought. The guy in jail is a Beckett. Beckett could be a great competitor. We did think a lot of people did. So that being gone now,
they could have nurtured SGC along the same way. Like I explained last night with SD Lauder, Ziggy.
Yep.
They don't go out and spend $2 billion on companies and trash the shit out of them. They spend $2 billion on companies to be under their umbrella and to build that company up. Okay? They don't take companies like SGC and shove them in the fucking broom closet.
Well,
and that's exactly what they're going to do with Beckett.
Well,
and for them to even to put it out there any other way is just disingenuous.
Well, I agree with you in the sense they weren't going to dismantle SGC, because I do think, again, they needed the graders. They needed the vintage graders. I mean, that's the reality. They bought them for the vintage graders.
Well, how many vintage graders do they have? Did they have 4? They got 4 guys. Why don't you just hire them?
Guys, how much money do I charge you? And I'm not a vintage guy.
Don't be stupid. I mean, you only need one guy to manage 15 idiots.
But I make more money in a PSA slab than I do in an SGC slab with vintage. So if my
big deal, you're gonna make $3 into a after spending $29, waiting 8 months.
It's the upcharges. It's the upcharges.
You got a 95-day wait.
I tightened
this fucking days.
SGC to being a niche, fresh, and then I put all the value in PSA. I mean, it's a good business decision. That's what I'm saying. I understand you, but what
we just don't know. I would assume they wouldn't have done it for them. That's right.
You got idiots out there willing to wait.
By the way, every grading company I looked at, guys, is making money.
Sure, good for them.
You think like people going, they're going to go bankrupt? No.
And you try talking, like you said, you tried selling the idea to investors. I've got
we're in the
friends
high
who
of the
investors and
storm.
they buy companies all the time.
10 years from now.
Think about this. Beckett had a high retention rate for the last few years for employees. You did not see employees running out the door. They had some layoffs, but the people are working there every day. When you went to Dallas and they had a line of people because they were given some assurance.
They're in Texas. But people are happy with their fucking $7 hour jobs. They can buy it. They can almost live.
I think they're probably making more. But my point, I think you underestimate that business.
Well, I mean, I don't doubt it's a fucking profitable business, but if it was profitable, I heard it was the only profitable business under that Global Growth's company. Well, and he was stealing from it.
All 4 businesses were doing very well. The Dragon Shield business did surprisingly well. I'd say
they got all their publications. Boy, isn't that great of a guy who's known for shield bidding.
You know who also has a large publication business is Panini, by the way, which is surprising. Panini's publication reach is global. Their printing reach is global, mainly because of their stickers, right? But they actually print a lot of magazines. And their major license is that soccer license, which now expires in 2026. So you're not going to print anything in Topps label. So you're not going to see Panini, in my opinion, acquisition.
Okay, Dan, we have Petty is big on and emotional on fuck PSA, and I'm not happy with PSA either, especially with GameStop and graded grails and mystery packs, and now they've bought all the competition. What's really happening here, Dan?
What's really happening? That's a big question, man.
I mean, something's going on. Something's happening.
They didn't buy Beckett for the vintage graders because Beckett's vintage is literally a joke. It's like a clown show. So Beckett, they didn't buy him for vintage. I can tell you that much. Did they buy him for grading, or did they buy him for all the other things that they do? I don't know. But in reality, what is PSA doing? Somebody had a comment before. Are they prepping for a public offering? I think the answer to that question is no, because a public offering brings eyes on them, and gives them the kind of disclosure requirements that being public does. Whereas
they were
public, before all
there's a lot of
there's
disclosure requirements. They're not going public.
Beckett
they're not going public because
I think it's a better thing. What do you do before you sell a company? You acquire all the assets. I think it could be more of a thing where they're acquiring to sell.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Beckett was on the way out the door anyway.
I also
it doesn't make sense why they bought him.
I also see this too.
Yeah.
It's a shorter path to going public, by the way, is purchasing GameStop in a merger than it is to actually go on an IPO walk, right? Because you got to go through a roadshow and you got to go 6 months of being public company.
Why would they go public? Why in the world would they go public? They are rife with conflicts of interest throughout like their entire business right now. There's literally no way they can go public with what they're doing.
If you
weren't they public, Dan, once before?
Yes, they were public.
And they
but that was prior to the boom. That was prior to, and that's before private equity came in.
Also, going public and being public are two different things too. Going public is harder than just being public.
Well, they already went public.
You know,
that they were public.
They have to go public again. In other words, you'd have to go through an investor roadshow. You'd have to get
again.
Yes.
Well, they did it once, but Dan's right. They have their hands into everything with conflicts of interest just all over the place. And these fucking action packs. I got your action right here.
Well, now that we have the black labeled action pack, Graded Grails Black Label, right?
Wow, that's exciting. 3,000. Let's open some.
You know, question for Dan. I'm just because all this going on. Personally, I think this news is really not. It's a no impactor. Really, unfortunately, it sucks. But going back to the Schilling thing with what's that guy's name?
Schilstein?
Probstein. Yeah. Do you think how long, honestly, would we expect to see charges? Is it 6 months, 12 months? I've talked to.
There's not going to be any charges on that asshole. He's been shilling for 25 years. There's two things you have to bear in mind.
The cybersecurity.
If Probstein is going to be prosecuted, it would be in the New Jersey feds would have to do it. And right now, the New Jersey feds are a complete clusterfuck.
That's right.
They don't even know who the U.S. attorney is in that district,
right?
Because it's been back and forth with.
This is why cards are the perfect scam. That's why everybody's in it.
No idea.
There's nobody watching it.
The feds in New Jersey are a clusterfuck, so he's not even going to get investigated for a couple of years.
So he didn't even get a hand slap.
Timeline.
Do you think it could happen?
Timeline.
Yeah, do you think it could happen? That's a good question.
That's my point. Is I expect.
Oh, let's hear Dan. I gotta hear Dan.
Yeah, well, the one guy went to jail as Mastro. All of Mastro's bad conduct was late 2007, 2008, 2009. He went to jail in 2015. So you're talking like 7 years from crime to going to jail. So if Probstein is going to go to jail, it's not going to be till I'm like almost 70 years old.
And that was the least of his charges, right, Dan? It's sort of like he pled to that. He had done so many other things that was what he agreed to at the end. So it was like,
he cooperated.
I would expect fees or fines, at least for the cyber violation, something I think we would hear news on. That's all I'm saying is, and I'm not immediate. I think you could give it 6 months, guys. And I just mentioned that because I think that's a bigger story than what this is. And it's
6 months is not realistic. 6 months is not realistic.
Nothing is going to happen to the guy. So, I mean, rest in peace, Schilstein. Let him be
involved in investigations that went on for 2 years. So, and this is a little more complicated.
Was that something big enough to get in?
Right now are a clusterfuck in New Jersey. So it's just not going to happen.
With the snipe ordeal, is that something big enough to warrant someone to want to investigate?
Yeah, I would hope.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even like if you're a user, maybe you're like calling your congressman and saying, "Hey, can you look into this?" I don't know. I wasn't involved in it, but if I was, I'd be rattling some cages, man, and trying to.
I mean, the whole hobby is corrupt. Then you had Darren Ravel.
That's an understatement.
And he was, just trying to sweep it under the rug and sticking up for Schilstein.
Not a fan of Darren Ravel.
Why? Because he was all signed up and he was bidden. And the funny thing he says, what he's trying to argue with people that are just trying to ask him, did you bid on some things there? And they weren't trying to insinuate that he was involved in the shill bidding, but he's the one that got shilled up. But he says, I'm just trying to get things cheap, he said.
Wait, to the collection
everybody's
firm.
Trying to get a fucking deal. Everybody's trying to scam somebody. And then that fucking guy who calls himself a journalist can't even report on shit.
No, it's terrible. It's so bad.
It's I've never seen such a dickwad in all my life.
Most of the journalism is pretty bad in this. Evan Mathis admitted to trimming 1,200 cards at time of submitting them to PSA. Getting guaranteed 10s is a way bigger story. It is a huge story. That is Evan Mathis came out and said Tag was going to be the one that
Before
could
the
last.
pandemic, Dan, you know that how
When did
PWCC
it, this
they had all
Evan
these-
Mathis thing is old news, isn't it?
Yes, but he
Yeah.
also 3-4 years ago probably, but
Yeah,
he also
yeah.
came out and said tag is the only one with the long-term There's no consistency here. You guys are paying for, as Ziggy calls it, magic. I mean, you're paying for something it's bullshit. You know, we have technology in place that could fix the problem in a snap of a finger. They just don't want to, or they're waiting to charge you up the ass for it.
So let me ask, I mean, how do we fix this? And the reason I mentioned that, in my opinion, is
the only way you fix it is you have hobbyists that don't support this bullshit anymore.
Well,
I see plenty of people on here saying, I don't grade, I don't need the graded cards, I'm enjoying it.
Magnetic card holders.
And they should
That's how you fix
continue
it.
to do that.
I
enjoy it.
In my opinion, I mean, I hate to say it, there needs to be a self-regulation association, something.
Ziggy, you can cry about that till you're blue in the face. Nobody gives a shit about it. They're never gonna. Why would I? If I was a cheater fuck, why would I want to get into association?
I know that.
And you have 90% of the people are cheater fuckers.
But at some point,
it's not going to work.
Does that not happen? Does the industry not want itself to grow?
Look how nice that is.
Beautiful.
Better plastic.
In a magnetic holder,
Better
right?
Plastic.
You need a
Looks
label
lot
now.
nicer
We're gonna
than,
throw James on in a minute. He grades Sports
looks a lot
Illustrated
nicer
with
than this shit.
CGC.
Stupid red label.
And the baggie.
Hey,
Doesn't
we've also
fit.
had for the last 30 minutes 200 plus, and we've only the best show, second best show since we've been going live. So
We had Orlando on. That's why.
and big news, you three. That's right. We're gonna throw James on in a minute. Do you all three of you want to stay? I'm hoping at least a couple of you.
Jason Coops. Here's another guy here. Trimmer.
Professor, I'm gonna
Dan, you're staying. Ziggy's out of here. All right,
I'd
works
like
perfect.
to come back later later on, maybe to close or catch up with you at the end. But I got to do some. I'll be
let's
listening.
do that, Ziggy.
I appreciate you guys.
Hey,
Merry
thanks for coming
Christmas,
on.
Elf.
Take care, Ziggy. We're good. We're good.
Hey, he
That was nice.
loves hearing that. He loves hearing
Yeah.
that.
But like I said, you're not going to put him on a when nobody calls on that show, and you're going to let him.
You're
talk
right.
To
He wasn't.
the guy.
Ziggy wants me to ask Chris
Different
Hoge some
vibe,
questions.
You know,
Like,
it's a very
here's my-
different vibe.
Yeah,
You know?
you can't.
You, Jason, you do a fantastic job here, but it's a different vibe at Hobby Hotline. You know.
Hey, a new guy. Hi, new guy.
Yeah, so
Hey.
we connected yesterday through a viewer. He has a channel where he grades Sports Illustrated through CGC. His name James. Welcome to the show.
What do you say there, Flabbergast?
42, Jackie Robinson. Uh-oh.
He's having
Oh, no
trouble.
sound.
Give him a minute.
James.
How about now?
Hey, now.
There you go.
Oh,
There you go.
I was hearing you guys for 30 minutes sitting in the window, and now I can't hear anything.
No, I was just giving you an introduction
this
saying you
sucks.
grade through CGC.
Oh, you must be on
still
Safari
can't
or
hear.
something.
Still can't hear.
Yeah.
Oh, this stinks. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden I can't hear a thing coming from you guys. Yet I heard everything you were talking about in advance of this before you put me on.
Right. It happened to me too one time.
What color's the
No,
sky?
log in and log back, log out, and then log back in.
Or try to get
Oh,
the
this stinks.
buttons on. We hear you.
All right, let's let him figure that out. That's interesting.
Poor guy.
James will throw you back. Oh, he can't hear us though. James, I'd like to throw you back on in a couple minutes if you can get it figured out. He can't hear us. Dan, I feel like you haven't gotten. You came on and we kind of went. Did you have anything you wanted to say? Where
This
you
guy,
wanted to
this
go?
guy, Petty, you get Petty going, and you never get a word
I'm
in,
not
man.
even really
right.
that. I could really care less about the whole thing.
Well, it's
To
big
be honest
news.
with you.
I mean, overall, who the
I mean, to be
you're right.
to be
It's
honest
big
with
news.
you, I mean, it makes
You know,
no difference
I
to
had
me
two
one way or
options
another.
last night in terms of viewing. I could have watched Neo's live, or I could watch Carlos's live. So I watched Carlos's live because the whole thing was a joke. Because this whole thing is a joke. Beckett, the acquisition of Beckett is a joke. And so you can make fun of it from here to eternity because Beckett was on the way out. They were,
Still nothing.
Nobody takes
No
them
audio.
seriously.
Can't hear you guys. Don't know if
Oh
you
boy.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Poor guy. Oh fuck. That's too funny. Hey, look, I feel the pain. I can't
Poor
even
guy.
get the damn. I can't get my microphone to work. So
200 fucking plus for 40 minutes. I'm pumped. All right.
good.
But that's
240?
cool.
Damn. Good
No,
for you.
210 for the last 40 minutes. That is
Oh,
exciting.
okay, 210. Okay.
Low numbers,
Jason,
low
last
growth.
time you invited me on, we were going up straight up head to head with Sports Card Radio, and
And
you
we
still got
crushed. We
100
did a
people.
good job. We did
You
a
still
good
get
job.
100 people, you know?
It's pretty good.
So did you have I'm curious, okay, as Petty said, it's all a joke. It's like fucking, it was big news. I mean, it blew people. I still think people are kind of blown away that it just happened.
But it'll last,
It's
a
big
week
news
or so.
because a lot of the channels like it. It's a click. People are going to click on it. It's big news. It sounds like big news, but it's not. It's just garbage. Honestly.
Because it's a great opportunity
Beckett
again. Wouldn't it be great to have all three companies working together and have each one of them, running separately and their own thing, and get a registry for all three of them together for the collector, and have each one of them specialize in something? I mean, but we're just smoking crack if you think that, because they don't give a shit about us.
Right. It's a huge tell for how they're thinking. It's big news because it's a big tell. This is a business move. It's completely inside their boardroom and nothing to do with us.
And frankly, that name Beckett has jumped the shark ever since that show bidding thing. His name is Mud. It's Jimmy the Greek.
The company, the grading company, has been a joke now for years. I mean, do you remember the National in 2022? They announced this big announcement that they were going to have these new slabs. So they showed like a prototype of the new slab, and then they were going into the National, and people were making so much fun of it that they ended up not introducing this new slab at the National. They took an L that big in 2022. That's
I remember that.
Years ago.
They were trying.
And then they came
pivoted back real quick, right?
And then they pivoted. They just dropped it. And then came up with, like, maybe 2 years ago. They released a video. It was like these two clowns. I mean, they were like just clowny guys coming on and saying, "Oh, we're gonna change the grading scale." And then people laughed at them again, and then they dropped that. So Beckett has been like the laughing stock of the grading world for several years now. And suddenly, like, PSA thinks that they're worth money. I mean, what the hell are they doing?
I'll tell you what, if you're a vintage collector right now, if you have anything in BVG or Beckett slabs, I'd get rid of those in a hot minute.
Yeah.
I don't care, unless the card looks great. And
do you have any?
I have only one. I have the 51 mantle and a BVG.
Yeah.
And it's so nice that I can't touch it.
I have 5 of them in a collection of thousands of slabs. I have 5 BVGs.
And what are the quality of them? Are they like quality cards?
If I cracked them out and sent them to another company, they would go down 2 or 3 grades.
Right.
That's
the point.
Yeah, I got one right here.
And then we'll introduce James to the show because I think you could hear now.
This is a 7. Is that one? This is a 7. If I put this in a PSA holder, it would be a 4 or a 5.
But all right. No. I mean, I wouldn't want to put it in a holder. I would just keep it like that.
Just
at that
leave
point,
it
because it's nice. Because it's nice and it looks like a 7.
And it's got a stupid baggie in there that's crumbling up.
That's the problem.
Freaking joke.
Well, let's get James. Your name is James.
Can you hear us? Yeah, good to meet you.
I can. Sorry about that.
Hey now.
I think my AirPods took a crap on me as soon as.
Oh God.
Go figure. That's life.
You look great.
Exactly.
How long?
Hi, James.
How have you been grading with CGC for a long time or relatively new?
Yeah, so just keep in mind, I do comics and magazines. I do about this much sports cards. Most of what I do is comics and magazines.
No, but the company's the company. So have you been grading? That's fair. Have you been grading with them for a long time, or again, is it new?
Yeah, probably 6 or 7 years now that I've been using CGC. Yeah.
And what's your experience using CGC? I mean, they've had their drama too, but what's your overall good, bad?
Yeah. So, here's the thing to keep in mind. CGC is a comic book company. Now, I know they do sports cards, and I know they hired some sports guys over there.
And TCG as well now.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that it just permeates the entire culture at CGC. They are a comic book company first and foremost, and everything else is secondary. So, just something to kind of keep in mind if you kind of look to explore CGC.
Because I don't think they compete in the sports cards. We don't want CGC, but TCG, Pokemon, One Piece, they do a little better with CGC, I think.
Oh, they do absolutely a ton of those
big
pop culture cards like Pokemon. I mean, that's the vast majority of their card grading business. I'd say probably 60-70% of it is that, and maybe the other 20 or 30% or so is sports cards.
Do you have a take on PSA buying Beckett?
You know, I think I think this is very typical of private equity owned companies. They are driven mostly by market share, and I'm sure that while Beckett was, all the mistakes that Beckett's made, I heard you guys just talking about the disaster from the National a couple years ago, where they announced the new grading strategy and then pulled it back. My guess is PSA has said they want to be the place to grade every single collectible imaginable, and so my guess is this was just a market share grab on their part.
Yep. I mean, it's not for the overall customer. I'll be surprised. I hope it is. I'd love to see that. I just doubt that it will be.
No. Look, these are big companies. They're making millions of dollars, and they want to dominate. That's why they bought SGC. That's why they bought BGS. That's why they bought WADA a couple of years ago, because they wanted to be in the video game business. This is why PSA has just launched in the last few months the fact that they're grading comics and magazines. They want to be the single source for any sort of graded collectible.
Grading is like a standard in sports cards now. Even TCG, you have to get it graded. But I thought, and maybe I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought there was a little bit more pushback in comics. It came and it didn't catch as much steam because I understand there's a reader copy in this. Is it as big? Is grading quite as big in comics as it is in cards?
It's pretty darn close. It's pretty close. I'm not going to say it's as big as cards, but it's close to as big as cards. And the reason is, it's what the basis of your entire conversation all night long is money. If I can get a copy and I can get something graded, whether it's an X-Men or it's a Marvel comic, and all of a sudden I turn this piece of something that I paid $30-$40 for, and now it's worth $300 or $400, that's going to drive everything. And yes, that certainly drives graded magazines and graded comics for sure.
Is there, because I go into a couple comic shops over the past couple years and I don't see a lot of slabs. I see comics. I see other, fun things off the niche, action figures. So am I just going to the wrong comic shop, or it's not as much in a shop where you're seeing this stuff?
Yeah,
there was a few slabs, but it's not like a card shop where it's all slabs.
Agreed. Although card shops certainly sell plenty of new product that's not slabbed either. They're selling plenty of boxes and cases and packs. But that's, like I said, it's not as big in comics, but it's still an absolutely huge part of the comic book hobby is grading.
And you said you grade Sports Illustrated as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, here, let me show you one. I brought some show and tell. This is the very first Sports Illustrated from August 16th, 1954. That's Eddie Matthews on the cover.
Yep.
Different, kind of a different grading scale than cards.
What year is that?
This is 1954.
54. Wow. Over 70 years old.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I get that this is
not something like that
valuable
or expensive? I would assume so. I don't know. What's the demand for that?
Sure, yeah. I mean, this one graded at 9.8, which in the magazine comic world, 9.8 is kind of like a PSA 10. This one graded at 9.8. These sell regularly for about $2,000 or $3,000.
Okay. Is there a lot of them? I can't imagine there's. I mean, I don't know, but that's great.
So that's a total. I can go down that rabbit hole if you want me to, but there's a special story about that. So when magazines are printed, there's always overruns of production, and I think when Sports Illustrated launched the magazine in 1954, they thought it was going to kind of be a big deal, so they kept all the overruns in boxes in a warehouse. And then in the 90s, they started running ads in Sports Illustrated that say, hey, you can buy our first copy, the first edition we ever did in this fine, fancy leather binder with a certificate of authenticity. And they sold them for like $300 or $400 with ads.
They prepared for that. They were ready.
I was saying anybody can get a copy of one.
Sounds
like that. Not in that shape.
Right. Well, these were in spectacular condition because they were they were never in consumers' hands. They were the overruns that were just thrown in a warehouse. So that one's kind of a special instance. That's really the only example of that exists out there. So
yeah, Charles and I are going to get our Playboys. We're going to get our Playboys graded.
You know what? So I follow that. That's not my bag. I don't collect Playboys, but I keep a close eye on it. You'd be surprised. They're not.
You keep a close eye on it. You look.
People want them slabbed up.
They do. Well, there's a market for them.
That's
but
ridiculous.
It's not.
I want to open the
centerfolds. Yeah, I mean, the very first Playboy with Marilyn Monroe on the cover from the 50s is collectible. the Donald Trump issue, very collectible. There's, a couple issues with Seinfeld and some other famous supermodels on the cover. There's only about maybe 20 or 30 copies of Playboy that are really collectible.
Dan, to go back to, I don't think we talked with you about how Fanatics Live took, I think they're going to want all the breakers over there. I know that's out of our realm. I don't break, but that's also a huge news story. Okay. All right. It's just a huge news story. I know people are. Okay. All right. It's the way the industry is going is it's not a hobby. It's just an industry at this point.
Yeah. I mean, gambling is something that I don't really want to do with my money in terms of like the cards. So, I suppose there's a little gamble every time you buy a card that it might go down in price or whatever, but these are in my collection. They're not investments. So
Dan and Petty, I have a question to ask you. What would you, if I asked you next time you're on, if you could show me your 5 favorite cards in your collection? I mean, we're looking at your wall behind you, and it's like, I know we're all curious, Dan, what you have behind there, what's your favorite cards. It wouldn't be a long segment, but I'd love to see, your favorite 5 cards or 5 of your cards that you really like.
I would do that, but Mike Petty would blow me away. So
next time I'll do it. I got all mine at the safe deposit box. So
hey, that's smart. That would be awesome. That would be really cool because I know some people are looking behind Dan when I'm checking that out. James, I know it's kind of a weird show. I would like to have you on again another time when it's not PSA buying Beckett. But is there anything before we let you go that you wanted to throw out, or you wanted to get in, or you want us to talk about as a topic?
Yeah, so what's interesting here to me and hearing you guys talk, and keep in mind, I'm in the comic and magazine world, and PSA just launched that grading aspect of it. I'm seeing is just the stark difference between what my personal experience with PSA has been and the entire conversation that you guys have had on the show. Now, keep in mind, PSA, their pop culture and comics and magazines are a completely separate division from their sports cards. Separate graders. There's a separate, general manager that runs their pop culture division. And I'm sure I'm going to get hammered in the comments for this, but PSA has been spectacular when they launched comics and magazine grading. I talked with them and worked with them.
How long does it take?
Right now, so they just started taking submissions the last couple of months, so I haven't even gotten my first submission back yet, and they kind of had a flood of people jumping into it.
How are they great? If you haven't got it back, how do you know they're great?
Oh, because of the way they worked with me. I talked with them for 2 years before they launched this product, and they came at me saying, look, we wanted to talk to you because we want this to be a collector's first proposition. What is CGC doing and screwing up on, and how can we make this better? I had conversations. I had conversations with PSA for 2 years, and I wasn't the only one. There were other big.
I hope you got paid for that.
Hey, wait till you get backstab. I don't know.
That sounds like you were a consultant for him.
I think I'm only a consultant if you get paid. Number one. So I was just doing it because I care about the hobby and I love the hobby. And when PSA came in, I wanted them to do it as right as they can. And they kind of listened to a lot of our concerns. They adopted a lot of the things.
What's it cost?
These 3 or 4 things are super important to comic and magazine collectors.
Well, being that you haven't got it back yet, why don't you wait till you get it back and your grade, we'll see what grades you get. So then you can
from what I've seen, here's the feedback. And again, it's like a tale of 2 cities here, because obviously the sports card world is up in arms with all the controversies around PSA. And again, this is just my personal experience. Fully admit that it could go straight to hell in the next year here. But the people that have gotten their slabs back are thrilled. The slabs are so much better than CGC slabs. The grading is much more consistent. It's just been...
Don't plan on that lasting. I mean, unless they really cared and want, that's just not how it is in sports cards.
They don't know shit about it. They're so accurate already.
It's very inconsistent.
Those kids are doing a good job down there for $8 an hour.
Maybe on purpose.
And look, I get it. I get that there's this difference, but I really do think that they've created this divide in their business structure where they've got these separate divisions.
What's it cost?
They
by
have
the way?
no divide. They're fucking all wound up.
Well, look. Well, then, how is I get that the sports card guys are living at PSA. What we're seeing from the comic and magazine guys so far is they're absolutely thrilled with what PSA is doing. So
when you get your book back in 8 months, give me a call.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. What's it cost? What's the cost here?
Yeah, so the cost is $30 to grade a magazine.
Oh my God.
They flip through every page.
They do flip through every page, just like
can you imagine this, Dan? Can you imagine getting a fucking magazine like this? And here's the fucking grader.
Oh, they can't
With
do
your
that. They'll
fucking
ruin it.
magazine.
$30.
And the fucking
That's
magazine. Oh shit.
your
Ripped it
average
to
per-
pieces.
that's expensive.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, like you just said, it's certainly more labor intensive to grade a 150-page Sports Illustrated than it is just a two-sided piece of small cardboard. And
Oh, well, that's different. Yeah. So how much is it
Then
for
why
like
they
to
fuck
have
up
that?
the cardboard so often?
Yeah. No, but that magazine that you had, the Sports
quick.
Illustrated, like if they did that, like how much would they charge for that to grade that?
A Sports Illustrated, it's the same price. It's $30
With all those pages they're flipping through,
Yep,
with the
absolutely.
gloves.
And by the way, the quality of the interior pages matter toward the grade, so it's not like they're
Well,
just flipping
that's what
through
I
them super
mean.
quick. Yeah.
Oh shit, that's nuts.
And I get,
Gentlemen, we've almost
guys,
been-
it's totally different. And
For 30, that's gonna be. Yeah, I agree. That's gonna be about $100 before you know it. When they figure out that it's
we'll see. What's going to be curious now that we know James is happy with it to start. In a year from now,
But he
it's
hasn't
going to
got
be
one
great
back
to stay in touch and see where James is at in a year from now.
And frankly, I'm happy with them right now the way they're grading. I mean, if they keep putting 4s on all these 6s and 7s of these cards from the 50s and 60s, that's going to be great for the collectors. So they're just screwing the people. They're just screwing the people that are giving them the money and grading with them.
Hey, it'd be a lot more fun for me if I could join in with you guys and pile on PSA and tell you what dog crap they
Give it
are.
a year. Give it a year.
I'm giving you my honest personal real world experience with them.
Right.
The PSA pop culture division and the woman that they've got running it have been spectacular during this entire process.
And you have a direct line to her and everything. You can call her.
I do, yeah. And a bunch of
can you
people
imagine this, Dan? Dan, can you believe this? He could
Hey,
call them.
Call them and ask them why they buy Beckett.
Yeah, I mean, I probably aren't going to get an answer on that, but if you want me to, call them and ask them about some Sports Illustrated regional variant from the 2000s,
No,
I can get you an answer on that.
I'm just saying, there's an inside guy there. He's going to get all 10s on his magazines.
9.8.
There it is.
He's going to get 9s and offers, and then they'll go up to 10.
Exactly.
Right, exactly. Yeah, well, that's when we know. That's when we know things are starting to slide if they start buying back comics and magazines.
Gentlemen, thank you for calling in. We're doing 2 hours here. I'd love to have you all. I know it was a weird show because it was so much, and I wanted all the takes and but I'd love to have you guys on one-on-one or just a little more conversation between us. But yep, thanks again for calling in, James and Dan and Mike.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
Jason.
you so much, guys.
We'll talk to you.
Talk to you
Peace,
soon.
love. Thank you, guys. Nice to meet you, James. Good luck, bud.
Likewise.
See you guys.
Bye, Dan. Hey now. Damn. Hour 50 minutes, mainly all conversation, a bunch of different takes, it's hard to just, none of us know anything about this PSA Beckett thing. And so what I noticed with everyone talking, even listening yesterday, it's just people they got hit with the left hook. I mean, when you get hit with the punch, you don't see. None of us saw that coming yesterday. It's just, nobody has it. So for any of us to give a good, solid, factual this, so we were everywhere tonight. It was everywhere. I want to share a couple more things, then we'll get out of here. Thank you to all the callers. It was really neat talking with all of you. Nice to meet James. Dan, as always, great chatting with you. I want to throw a couple things up before we end. Let's see. We'll exit that. Save that for tomorrow. Here's, what is this? The hobby needs answers. Clean up. Who does this really protect? Fanatics quietly shutting down, removing breakers. We'll save this for tomorrow. Shutting down the breakers. We talked about him. Fanatics is in business. They don't care who buys their product so long as the product sells. They don't care about the breakers or even the collectors. They're a business who is cutting out middlemen to increase their revenue. This is what smart companies do. And that's when we look at Beckett, they didn't buy it for any other reason than they think it's good for the boardroom. They think it's good for their investors. They think it's good for whatever they have going on. And it doesn't EA Sports sold to Saudi Arabia. WWE does 6 shows a year. Their pay-per-views, their prime shows over fucking seas, 3 of them in Saudi Arabia. It's not what's best for us. When they come visit your town, it now costs an arm and a leg. It costs a month's worth of pay just to go see the fucking show. It's not what's best for you and me and this guy, Dr. Sports Card Antagonist. Don't know him from nothing. Dr. Ben Economist, Dr. Card Economist Ben. Yes. I mean, he couldn't say it better than how I think. We'll look into what CGC has to say about the whole thing tomorrow. Oh, Jesus. We'll end here. Our fare is still 100. Oh, we'll save this. This is good content. You know, just like Mojo was doing. Well, now it's all fucking fake. I don't buy it. Or there's another thing. These kids aren't stupid. I work with kids. Oh, shit. If we go tell Mojo Sports Cards we got scammed by another kid, he's going to give us a free card. If we go tell Talon Sports Cards we got scammed by another... If they got scammed by another kid at the show, let them learn their fucking lesson. That's not the real world. If you or me watching this go get scammed at a show and you go up to Talon or Mojo, they're going to say, oh, that sucks. Be smarter next time. Sorry that happened. But because as a kid, they can make content with it. They're going to throw it in your face. And one of two things has happened. Is a setup by Talon and Mojo. Or 2, the kids have smartened up. And they say, fuck you guys. You're going to give us free cards? Yeah, bro. Guess what? We're going to go in there. We got scammed. Can you believe that some other kids scammed me? Here's a free card. Where's the audio?
Come on.
Hey, now.
I didn't know Justin Herbert RPA.
You traded it for a fake RPA?
I didn't know.
Where, from a
Yeah, that kid, I didn't know it was fake. Either it's an act and he's acting in this skit, or it's an act and he's lying. Did you see his face? I didn't know it was fake, bro. An RPA we're talking about. Tough shit. That's how the world goes. What are we teaching everybody? You want a business customer and you want emotional manipulation of the viewer. What a nice guy. What a solid chap. Why aren't you giving a free card to a 50-year-old, to a 40-year-old, to a 30-year-old, to a grown person? Why not? Why is it always a kid? And I'm telling you, it's one of two things. It's either a bullshit for content, or 2, the kids are smartening up. Ooh, we could go to these guys and tell them we got scammed. He didn't go small. He went RPA.
A dealer?
No, from a kid.
Oh, from a kid. A kid had a fake one.
I don't even read, so I'm really down on it.
This dude. It's either in with Talon here, or he's smartened up. You know, I'm going to go to this show and I'm going to go get a free $200 card from Talon, because if I tell him I got scammed by another kid, he's going to give me a slab. And then, of course, we got to put it for content. He gave away a card to a kid. What a mensch. What a saint.
He probably didn't even know it was fake.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to...
Yeah, they all got their story. They came with that story in the car on Discord. They're chatting about it.
Yeah, you got to be careful, man. What are you asking for this one?
130.
130? What's it worth? It's worth... Oh, that's fair. So I show 150, 154.
Not going to give it. He's going to fake downtown. What's happening here?
Or 145, and then that one's just, I don't know what that one's doing. I'll give you 150 on it. Help you get back a little bit.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got to be careful, man. They're faking downtowns, uptowns, all those right now. Especially the bigger cards, you got to be careful. $100.
Did he just pay 150 for the fake card? I misunderstood what the hell just happened.
50? Be careful out there, man. This is Talon, and a lot of fake cards have been making their way through shows.
Why'd you just buy it for 150? Did I misunderstand that?
Right now, which makes trading kind of tough. So if you want a safer shot at something big, check out our friends at Arena Club.
Oh, yo, that's the show. Fuck you. Oh my God. Like Arena Club is going to save you from getting fucked. Oh my God. That's what he thinks. Oh my God. This guy's not even that young. The youth is so fucked. They are so fucked. Look at all these guys want to make $1, and then you go tell people a shitty idea with their money. And then you want to blame the youth for taking out student loans or getting in debt when you have these older people preying off them. Fucking A. We'll do it again tomorrow, 2 hours. We had over 200 people in here for almost an hour. Thank you for being here. It's ridiculous what's going on in cards. It makes me wonder. It makes me discouraged. It makes me sad. It makes me, why don't I go write more? Why don't I go read more? Why don't I play more video games? Why don't I go for a walk more? My foot. But anyways, tomorrow's the last show for 2 weeks. We won't be here next week. So tomorrow, come have fun, hang. I think we have Dan the Card Man. I'm like 80% sure Dan the Card Man. I'm 99% sure AIH. Tomorrow, let's get some more calls from viewers. Let's get a few voicemails going. I got more voicemails. So, and then we'll take next week off. And hopefully we get SCV. I reached out to Ty Wilson. I'm forgetting to email him. I'd love to get Ty Wilson on, meet him. SCV Sports Cards. Who else? Someone else I can't remember. Oh, Jags from Blez Breaks. I think Gio hates me at this point. Gentlemen, ladies, Rhonda, thank you for being a great mod. Frank, you're killing it with the messages, the comments. Ziggy, I'd love to hear more about that story. Whatever Ziggy wants to share on all that private equity stuff. It's gold. It's content. It's not even that. It's worth hearing. It's juicy. We'll do it again tomorrow. I'll see you guys at 5. It should be fun. I'll be ready. You be ready. What the fuck, Pro? Is it with Christmas or something, Professor? Yeah, I'm next week. I don't take weeks. I haven't not taken a week off since I started in August. August, September, October, November, December, 5 months. Yeah, I got a 1.5-year-old niece, my only niece or nephew. So she's 1.5, starting to get a personality. My sister lives out in the Bay. I'm hoping to have lunch with Greg, Midlife Sports Cards. He lives in that area, or Midlife Cards. So I'll be gone. I leave Monday through Thursday. I actually travel home Christmas. Easier to fly on Christmas, late Christmas, or if you fly the next day, it's also cheaper. So I'll be gone. Then we'll be back for the 30th, and 31st is New Year's Eve. So I don't know how big that show will be, but anyways, again, we'll do it tomorrow. Dan the Card Man, AIH. Thank you for being here. And thanks to all the callers. And Dan, it was really nice talking with you. Orlando, Mike, it's nice meeting James, and Ziggy bringing the heat. See you guys tomorrow. Thanks for being here.